Welcome to another edition of Around the League. We're going to look at things covering all the franchises that participated in free agency. Dallas Cowboys, y'all sitting out. Y'all broke motherfuckers. But man, for the other franchises, shouts out to the guys that got paid and for the teams that made themselves better. And there's a lot of robbing from Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, within divisions. Anyways, we'll get into it. What's up? It's your boy Cintron coming back at you with another analysis video. And I kid you not, that's my real name. Monday, March 11th, also known as D-Day, because man, some people cried, more likely fans, but some people rejoiced, but all were feeling something. Anyways, let's dive into it and see who's up first. The Arizona Cardinals. We're not going to touch on any petty moves or any small ones. Name-wise, names that make waves, but anyways, big money moves. Dustin Jones signed a 3-year, $30.1 million deal coming over, I think, from the Broncos. Talented guy, man. He's up and rising. I think he's 27 years old. So the Cardinals look to improve there in the desert, and they have a boatload of money to do it. Also signing Mac Wilson, 3-year, $12.75 million deal. And these are the kind of moves that really make and break teams in free agency. The value deals, where can they be found? Not often found on day one, so shout out to them for doing that. Sean Murphy-Bunting, a 3-year, $25.5 million deal for the Cardinals. I think he's coming over from the Buccaneers. He's a sizable guy, 205 or so. He plays a very physical style, and it'll be interesting to see what Jonathan Gannon tries to mold and shape him into being. But they're trying to get better in the desert. These are the kind of moves that are going to improve them, and also, it's more of a deal in line with his potential, because he isn't the most proven, had some inconsistency, but man, definitely very palatable for that price. Atlanta signing Kirk Cousins to a huge $180 million deal over 4 years, $45 million a year, $100 million guaranteed. So he's getting that bank, and he's got weapons to work with, and Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. So they upgrade their guy, that Desmond Ridder, who was not going to get it done, second-year guy going into his third year now, but overly matched. Them and the Washington Commanders are like, what the fuck are y'all doing at the quarterback position? I mean, you're in the NFC, so go ahead and keep struggling. I support that fully, but they got a guy at the helm who's going to make them leaps and bounds better, compete for that NFC South title. The Buffalo Bills extending their own in Deion Dawkins' 3-year extension. I think it puts him at the top of the league from what I heard, as far as competition goes. So a nice move by them, trying to hold on to that AFC East title. AJ Epinesa signing a 2-year deal worth $20 million, a talented rotational pass rusher. And Cam Lewis, he stays there in Buffalo. They're gonna need DBs, or jazzing people left and right, but they keep him on. Carolina Panthers, they lost some pieces. We'll get to that later, but they signed away Robert Hunt from the Dolphins. 5-year, $100 million deal, $20 million per year. Already a porous O-line, becoming even worse there in the AFC East. Competing with the guys above we just talked about, but it's about a war of attrition. I feel like we're playing musical chairs and with other people's furniture, because we're just rearranging with guys we think are going to be able to sit on, and then some of those chairs are going to collapse with faulty wheels and such. But Damian Lewis signed a $53 million 4-year deal. I think he's being poached from the I think it might be not the Bears. I forget where he's coming from, but they're picking from all over the place. I think they were weakening a division, NFC division team, so I was happy to see that. Not going to make much of a difference there, because it's more than about just being one guy. They got their bookend, their interior bookend guys on either side, solidified, and they have some nice pieces there, or two on the line. I forget the left tackle, right tackle that had a standout year, but it's gonna take a lot for them to keep that continuity. See, they lost this guy here, Brian Burns. He got traded, so they get 2nd round and 5th round compensation. We'll get to the amount that New York is doling out later, but they could have gotten, I think, multiple first and potentially a second last year, but they were trying to hold on to him as a foundational piece and end up dealing for worse anyway. So they tried to get something out of him, make sure he didn't get off scot-free. DeAndre Swift, one of our guys here in Philly, is leaving. There's a lot of these copycat contracts, 3 years, 8 million per year, 24 million. I mean, the same numbers and amount of years. So it just shows you where the running back market is. It's still a devalue, but some guys did get paid. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the Philly Flyer is gonna leave, and sad to see him go. But we made an upgrade. We'll talk about that soon. But yeah, dude is, man. He's talented, but it was an upgrade for us, and not trying to discount him or anything, but second in the league in yards per before contact, and then 44th after. A more physical guy would be better, and hopefully we apply that pressure in the draft as well, and get a guy that can long term be the person we turn to take over. Zach Moss from the Colts signing with the Bengals, 2-year, $8 million deal, and then they cut their starting running back. I'm like, damn, savage. But running backs got done dirty like multiple times like that today. I'm like, damn. Geno Stone, he got stole from the division rival in the Ravens, 2-year, $15 million deal. They strengthened their secondary, and on the heels of, I think, no, they lost Jesse Bates last year, but they needed to replace, some of that production, and hopefully get it there. A man who I think he might have led the league with 7 picks last year. Insane. They cut Joe Mixon. Tragic. And T. Higgins once out of town, so everything's not cheery there, but they burning that money. Cleveland Browns, they re-signed Zadarius Smith, 2-year, 23.5. So kind of like a upper echelon deal, but not like the cream of the crop, top of the crust. But he gets some nice money. He was a good running mate for Myles Garrett. There it is. And they're looking to keep that going. So, they're in the AFC, so I don't really care too much about it. But I think we do have to face them. Yeah, we have to face them this year. It's going to be tough, man. Going against both of those guys. Brandon Jones signed away from the Dolphins, 3-year deal. So they found the money, even though they got rid of Justin Simmons, cut him, but paying him most likely less. And he's a hitter, but he's not the playmaker that Justin Simmons is, even at his advanced age, 30. Detroit Lions, Graham Glasgow, agreed to terms with Detroit on a 3-year, $20 million deal. He's extended, so they keep the good vibes there going. I think they lost a guy on the O-line. I think the guy might have been from the Lions above. So like I said, weekend division guys, I take it. Not just about my immediate division, but the NFC at large, because there's a lot of big players out there, big fish and some small ones that are trying to build on the momentum they built up last year. And I want to see them crumble, because we're trying to get back to the top. All right, Carlton Davis, man, big move here being dealt for from the Bucks. They had to give up a 3rd-round pick to Tampa Bay, and they get back a 2 6, one this year and one next. So he's a talented corner. Was hurt in and out of the lineup last year, but they were hurting for a guy, and they may still look to go that route in the draft. But now they got Brian Branch in the slot, and this guy Carlton Davis. So they're trying to build on what they were establishing, making that further move from the NFC Championship for them, hopefully to the Super Bowl. But I hope it don't happen, because of course, fly Eagles fly. Anyways, Green Bay Packers, the division mate, signed Josh Jacobs to a deal. And I was running my running backs. I thought that they were, the market was going to stagnate, and even the top guys weren't going to get their deals. But money talks, and when there's a limited supply, those upper echelon guys, you got to dole out the cash. And he got 4 years, $48 million. So shout out to him. He got that $12 million, even though he didn't get the highest amount this year. We paid that. I'll tell you who it is, anyways, in a second. You already know, but this other target was supposed to come here to Philly. He was one of the guys we were targeting, but Xavier McKinney signs a 4-year, $68 million deal to replace their safety that left, went elsewhere. Because, like I said, a lot of musical chairs, a lot of mixing and matching going on. He gets paid $17 million per season, and he's still only 24 years old, younger than some guys coming into the league this year in the draft. So they get a guy that can patrol there, can play the 4th best safety rated by PFF. Patrol the secondary there, so just all around talent. Wish we would have had him here in Philly, but we were never gonna pay that much for a safety. So sad to say, what's going down like that. Aaron Jones got cut, the 2nd running back today, to get released. So I feel for him. Hopefully he can bounce back on his feet. But they're cut his $10 million salary and then paid the guy coming in behind him more. If Josh Jacobs can stay healthy, I wouldn't say he's an upgrade because, a receiver. Aaron Jones is nice, and he's such a cutback runner. But they do get a bit of a tougher running back, hard yards, but will his body hold up? Houston Texans, they made a bunch of moves. Then Nico Autry coming over, journeyman from the Titans, but 2 years, $20 million. He's a guy that he's awesome at what he does. He's I think 10-year veteran, but just plugging away in the bowels of the D line, hasn't gone unnoticed. Got paid commensurate with his talent. That's still on the lower end, but still it's like a mid, in between mid and that above average contract. So shout out to him. Jeff Okudah gets another bite at the apple in a 1-year prove it deal, $4.75 million. And got traded to Atlanta last year from the Lions, and team is still gonna gamble on that tremendous amount of talent he has. If he can bring it out, we'll see. But if he does, he'll get paid next year. But the guy who did get paid this year, Azeez Al-Shaair, coming from the 49ers, he went to the Titans, balled out with like 160 plus tackles, had a career year. He's never going to get that kind of playing time, playing behind Fred Warner and guy who blew out his Achilles, Drake Greenlaw. But he got 3 years, $34 million from the Houston Texans. They got money to spend, so they got him. He wasn't a linebacker that we needed, and that was way too much, for us to pay a guy with a limited skill set. Even though he's great at what he does, he's still limited. I just figured out where some of these guys from. Justin Jones came from the Bears, and Damian Lewis, I think he did come from the Lions. So I love to see those guys in the division guy getting weakened. I mean, they can bolster, replace, but you still got to replace with sometimes unproven talent. Let's see who we're going on to next. The Indianapolis Colts. Michael Pittman, 3 years, $70 million to stay. He got paid, man. A chain mover, not quite the explosive guy, but man, he can still break away. He has enough speed, and he's leading the charge there. Zaire Franklin, their standout linebacker for the past 2 years, who usurped Shaq Leonard, got his job because Shaq's body fell apart. Only 27. They betting on him. The best is yet to come. 3 year, $31.26 million. So pretty good linebacker salary. So $10 million averaging that a year, he'll take it. Jacksonville Jaguars signed Gabe Davis away from division rival and the Buffalo Bills. Not in the same division per se, but those guys in the AFC are crazy because they got mad competition. They're jockeying for position to try and get to that AFC Championship game just to lose Mahomes. Anyways, it is what it is. 3 years, $39 million. He's a good number 2. Pair him up with Christian Kirks. The good receiving duo, speed guy. He has some speed too, but he's more of a possession threat. Tough guy though. Devin Duvernay signed to be number 3, 2 years, 8.5. It's a solid signing for them. Mitch Morse being stole from again the Bills. Damn, they robbing the Bills blind. He got cut. His age 31 season, 2 years, 10.5. A decent deal, and they're getting a quality starter. Darnell Savage was savagely stolen from the Jaguars. 3 years, probably making 10, 11, or 12 million. I mean, no, I'll probably say 12 to 15. He's making that. This is my guesstimation. Young talent safety, covers a lot of ground, ran a 4.3 coming out of the draft. It was low 4.3s too, man. Might have been a 4.34, man. Dude is just built different. I think it was 4.36. Anyways, I'm obsessed with speed. Love that. But very talented guy, man. Glad to see him on the NFC. Like I said, I love it. I love it. We faced him this year, so we're going to have to face these guys. Kansas City Chiefs signed, the numbers finally come out on Chris Jones' deal. 5 years, $158.75 million. He got paid. Las Vegas Raiders, feels weird saying that, but anyways, Gardner Minshew, 2 year, $25 million deal. He's got a chance to challenge for the starting position. Happy to see that for him after he didn't stink in Philly, but we didn't put him in the greatest position to be successful. This guy who is going to be successful is Christian Wilkins, though, signing a 4 year, $110 million deal. That's what a 10-figure salary got. Dang it, he broke the bank. They sold him from the Dolphins. They weren't going to pay him. They weren't even sniffing. Just looking for the compensation compensatory pick that's coming next year. Other than that, I mean, even if they get that's even if they get anything, because they balled out in free agency themselves. Lost Angeles Chargers, signed Gus Edwards to replace the scat back that they lost. 2 years, $6.5 million. A solid deal. Held them to some of their own guys. Alohi Gilman, solid dude. Will Disley get 3 years, $14 million. So I think he's going to play that number 2 role most likely, and they're probably going to look to upgrade that talent. But solid security blanket for him. Kobe Parkinson, 3 year, $22 million. So he's, I think, maybe a center talent. Jonah Jackson, 3 year, $51 million deal. I forget where he's coming from, but they brought in like 2 big guards. So they're really trying to make sure that they have a solid line to protect what they have left at quarterback, how many years he has in Matt Stafford, but it's gonna be solid. Miami Dolphins, let's see, who did they sign? The center, Aaron Brewer, because they lost the guy. I don't forget where he's from. I didn't really check. 3 years, $21 million. So he's on the lower end in the deal, so they're betting on potential. Anthony Walker coming over. I forget where he's coming from. And Jordan Brooks. So they're paying on linebackers though. 3 years, $30 million coming over from the Seahawks. Thank you. Take him out of the NFC, baby. I love it. He's a good guy. He's a top 15 linebacker. Has the potential to be top 10. He's coming off an ACL injury, still balled out considering it was late in the year too. But I like the way he moves. Would love him in Philly, but we're never gonna pay that for a linebacker. I don't think. Maybe. Jalen Ramsey. How did they get this money? They cleared $19.912 million in cap space, and then other moves with these guys clearing $28 million. So they had nothing. So they had to do something to try and make some moves to compete there, because AFC, like I said, is highly competitive. Sam Darnold is expected to sign a 1-year deal worth $10 million. So they're gonna maybe have him as a guy who can challenge for the job. A lot of backups getting jobs out here, man. Gardner Minshew, potential to compete for one. Sam Darnold, the other guy we talked about. David Questenberger resigned. Blake Brandel resigned. And so they're trying to take care of some of the pieces on offense, just to hope God can place. And I think they're really pushing for the defense, because look here, Jonathan Greener signing with Minnesota. I know it's a big deal. I think it's 4 years, $76 million. So he's getting paid to come from the Texans. Hate to see him coming to the NFC, but it's what it is. Blake Cashman, 3 years, 25.5. Very solid. He's a pretty good talent. Andrew Van Ginkel, the guy we were looking at, 2-year deal. I think it was like $20 million or so, around that. Thought he was gonna be a bargain, for the Eagles. Nope. He got paid, and rightfully so. All right, New England Patriots, Jacoby Brissett going back to New England where he started his career. 1 year, $8 million deal. Solid signing for them. I love the moves that I saw that new coach is making. I forget his name. Gerard Mayo. Antonio Gibson. Like I said, these are the kind of deals that make or break free agency. 3 year, 11.25. Not going to break the bank, but it's a solid running back. He needs to hold him to the ball a little bit better, but glad to see him out of there for the Washington Redskins. Commanders. He's a talented guy. Mike Onwenu re-signing on a 3 year, $57 million deal. He's getting paid. And Sione Takitaki, let me see what he has. 2 years, 6.5. Forget where he's coming from. Might be the Chargers. But yeah, it could be worth up to $10 million, so you can potentially make more. But some sneaky good signings there. Not a lot of flashy stuff happening. A lot of people not gonna want to come there, even if they have money to burn. But it's about the long-term process. The New England Saints re-signing DeMario Davis quietly to a 2-year contract. He still got plenty of talent. Getting older, but the guy's knowledge is taking over. New York Giants, Devin Singletary replaced Saquon with him. Don't know what the deal, the terms are. I just want to take a quick look at it, see if they give us any numbers. Okay, no, but it's a downgrade for them, but it's gonna be hard replacing a guy like Saquon. That's granted, if he's healthy. John Runyon coming over from the Packers to the Giants. They're really trying to show up their O-line, man. Sign another guy here, Jermaine Ulaminer. He might be a depth guy, but they're shelling out money, like giving out candy. They don't give a damn. They just want to make the team better. Brian Burns signed a huge contract, 5 year, $150 million. Golly, man. And they give him and Kraken, they have them as the bookends with a guy like Ojulari coming in as the swing guy, the third guy. That's a talented duo coming off the edges. So some upgrades being made in the NFC East, and the Cowboys not, playing part to it. But hopefully they struggle, to assemble, to build the chemistry with those teams. But we got a good O-line, and we're still hopefully going to add to it. But that's our security blanket, because these teams are improving, trying to get better. New York Giants, Tyrod Taylor signed him to a deal to be the backup there to Aaron Rodgers, most likely. John Simpson, couldn't find anything on him on the site as well. I should say 2 years, $18 million. So we'll see whether he's worth it or not. Greg Jeezy, what do you call it? Jeezy signing a contract 2 year, 8.4. Just know the name. Isaiah Oliver coming over from the 49ers. Just like I said, get him out of there and just weaken. I don't think they were really counting on him anyways, but basically wrote off. Nobody cares. Interested. Who cares? Leonard Floyd signing from the Buffalo Bills, 2 years, $20 million to sign up with the 49ers. So they made some, saved some money, and you're spending it on that defensive line, trying to find a running mate for Joey Bosa. Yetur Gross-Matos, 2 years, $18 million. Sign them, trying to capitalize on that potential. But man, interesting. All right, Noah Fant re-signing with the Seahawks, 2 years, $21 million. He's a speed demon. Can he be more consistent? That's the question. Leonard Williams, he needs to be better on that front too, but still got a 3-year, $64.5 million deal after being dealt for, I think, around a second round pick and maybe fifth round pick last year from the Giants. And dude is, he's got to be better. But man, he's a talented guy, and I would hate. I think we have to face him this season. I forget. But let's see. The Tampa Bay Bucks, they said earlier they dealt this guy, lost. I mean, they gained a third rounder, but lost, that production. And the Titans here getting better, but some interesting picks to replace Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, 3 year, $24 million deal. The three guys that got the same deal. I can't say it's always three guys. Lloyd Cushenberry signed with the Titans. I think he's coming over from, I forget where. It might be the NFC. 4 years, $50 million. I mean, record-breaking signing bonus for centers. Damn, he's getting paid. Kenneth Murray, 2 year, $15.5 million deal. Don't know if he's re-signing or not, but I do know Chidobe Awuzie, 3 years, $36 million, coming over from the Bengals. He's a talented guy, but he needs to be way more consistent. But they believe in his talent there. And let's see, the Washington Commanders, Austin Eckler coming over from the Chargers, 11.43 on 2 year. He didn't get what he thought he would get, but they get a talent back there. But he's small, diminutive, but he's hard to find, and he runs hard, catches very well, pass blocks, good for his size. All right, Nick Allegretti, signing a 3 year, $16 million deal, was a key backup for the Chiefs. He started in the Super Bowl to replace, I forget his name, in the Pro Bowl guard. But yeah, and they're betting on potential. Tyler Bidiaz, they sold him from the division rival Cowboys, 3 year, $30 million deal. So you got to pay to play, and they're willing to spend. They have the most cap money, in $95 million. Spend some of that. Dorrance Armstrong, likewise, coming from the Cowboys, 3 year, $45 million deal. So mirrors the deal that Hassan Reddick got a couple seasons ago. Hey, that's still a deal, a bargain basement deal, $15 million for a pass rusher. Still banking on some of his potential, because he hasn't proved it as of yet. But he could be. He's still, I think, a rotational guy. Needs to be rotated high amount to be effective. But we'll see. But hey, Weekend in the Cowboys, appreciate you. Frankie Louvu, 3 year, $36 million coming up from the Panthers. This guy I wanted, but. Again, $12 million a season for a linebacker. Hobby's never going to pay that. And we don't care about a kicker. But let's jump into the Eagles moves here, man. You can see that we resigned one of our own in Landon Dickerson, 4 year deal, $84 million, could be $87 million max, $50 million guaranteed. So we go ahead and scratch it off the list. Guys, we need to extend, because He was a second round pick. Unlike Devonta Smith, he's eligible for a contract as well, but we didn't want to extend him this season because we slapped him with the 5th-year option, 15.5 coming his way. So we have bought ourselves a little time. And this offseason, we really, if we want to compete for a Super Bowl, we need to put some pieces in place, address more of our defense, one key position on offense, and then we should be set, or other ones, but that's more like the draft and some low priority free agents. Saquon Barkley, the big signing here, 3-year, $37.75 million, so signing for a $13 million plus contract to come here to Philly, man. Damn, I was surprised. I'm happy to see him here because he's a do-it-all back. If he can stay healthy, that's a huge upgrade, faster than the last guy who was here, and that's saying something. He can be just as shifty. He's almost a mirror image of the guy that I want in the draft. But I would love to sign him because that would be just perfect, the perfect mentor for him. But if his body holds up, man, we got a great deal. Even though we have to pay for that, that much, it would be worth it. Bryce Huff signing a 3-year deal with the Eagles worth a max of $20 million per season, but I think it's more like 17, 3 years, $51 million. Could be that, with incentives, but this signals, immediately that one or both of the guys that we have at edge rusher and Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat are going to be gone. Going to find their ways out of town. Don't know how that's going to play out, man, but it could get scary. And let's just take a quick look at another guy that we signed, Zach Bond. So a former 3rd-round pick out of Wisconsin. He's a do-it-all linebacker. Mostly, he's the off-the-ball guy or he's an edge guy who can do some off-the-ball stuff, but he should be looked at as more of a depth player because it's just a signing that we're going to look at to say, hey, we're putting some pieces at linebacker. No, this guy is not. He didn't start for the Saints. That should tell you something. He did some things, nice things coming off the edge, and has that nice versatility. But I do not want to see this guy in the starting lineup. So Howie still got to do better, bro. But a good start to free agency. I'll say that. All right, the top guys still on the list. I'm gonna look at guys that really, we could focus on guys. Talking about guys that realistically have a chance maybe coming here. All right, we already spent on an edge rusher, so nope. Too old and gonna be too costly. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. There's not gonna be too many guys on the market, but there's still a sizable glut. His price tag, I think he's gonna cross the $10 million barrier, but or at least meet that. But he ain't gonna get crazy paid out here. I say he tops out at maybe 14 million, but probably I would say more likely in the neighborhood of 12 to 13. Just be realistic. Hopefully we can get him for that, but who knows? I would love to have this guy here, Kendall Fuller, but how much is he gonna cost us? And we got a guy who's already his age would what he would turn and slip. So some caution there. But he is a very solid player, top 10 player overall, graded out. Patrick Queen. It is a surprise to see him still on the list, but he still could get a payday. But if his market starts to slip, Howie, you might have to swoop in, bruh. That's what we do, right? Don't want any of these guys, to be honest with you. Like I said, last minute. I'm afraid that this could be a guy that Howie is trying to pencil in. Just too light for me, man. $170, bro. I need you to get your weight up, man. If we didn't already sign a guy, I would say this is a guy that we would have on the list. But this is a guy, definitely Julian Blackmon, that I think has a chance to come here. Be one of those second wave guys that sneaky, good signing by Howie, and he's newer to the position. Has the corner skills, transition to safety. I'd love to see it. And I think this might be all we cover because he could, maybe come here, be a chess piece, give us something there. But there's so much more to come because the first week isn't even over. We're just on day 1. But anyways, we're gonna get up out of here. But you're not even watching though. It's a long ass video. Don't expect anybody to be here, or you even get halfway close. But we're gonna chunk deuces because I love talking about the Eagles. I love making content about them, but I'm starting to lose my train of thought. So anyways, like I said, As always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.